From out-drinking everyone at a party to tossing her heels, at awards shows or in interviews, Emma Thompson is never afraid to make us laugh and will never take herself too seriously.
Emma Thompson!
However, her heartbreaking and full of struggles personal life is what truly deserves a romantic drama with just a hint of comedy. From a whirlwind romance to a painful separation from a fellow actor Kenneth Brannagh to Kate Winslet almost ruining her chances at true love.
For weeks, Marianne, I've had this pressing on me, without being at liberty to speak of it to a single creature.
Would you believe she even passed on an opportunity to become the First Lady? They were a match made in cinematic heaven. The only actor to win an Academy Award for both writing and acting fell in love with her first husband, Kenneth Brannagh, on the set of the miniseries Fortunes of War. They went on to marry in a lavish London ceremony 2 years later and became a darling couple of British cinema, starring in films such as Peter's Friends, Dead Again, and Much Ado About Nothing Together. But marital bliss didn't last for the pair as they soon came tumbling down from Cloud 9. Why did the British lovebirds decide to divorce? The couple shocked fans when they went their separate ways after just 6 years of marriage. At the time, they gave the usual busy work schedules speech. "I am very sad to confirm that Kenneth Brannagh and I are no longer together," she said at the time. "The decision was mutual, and no one else was involved." But whispers that the actor was unfaithful in his marriage ruined the tale. Back then, multiple outlets claimed the marriage broke down due to his alleged affair with actor Helena Bonham Carter. They were co-starring in the 1994 movie Frankenstein at the time, and it's rumored they struck up a romance during filming. It must have been devastating for Emma to find out and live through it. Even years later, when she was filming our favorite British Christmas rom-com, Love Actually, the actor was channeling her real-life heartbreak in an emotional scene with Alan Rickman.
Would you stay, knowing life would always be a little bit worse? Or would you cut and run?
God.
Love Actually turned out to be a case of art imitating life for Emma Thompson, whose portrayal of a wife being cheated on by her husband hit a little too close to home. In the iconic British rom-com, Thompson's character, Karen, finds out that her husband bought jewelry for another woman. When she discovers this, she breaks down and cries. Then, when her husband comes back into the room, she pretends like nothing is wrong. Thompson, who had her heart broken by ex-husband Kenneth Brannagh, knew what it was like, quote, "to find the necklace that wasn't meant for me," she explained. Opening up about the breakdown of her marriage, one of the most revered and respected actors in Hollywood said she had a lot of practice crying in a bedroom, then having to go out and be cheerful, gathering the pieces of her heart and putting them in a drawer. Thompson was living alone as the relationship with Brannagh deteriorated and entered into clinical depression. Commenting on how she was able to overcome her depression, she said, "Work saved me and Greg saved me. He picked up the pieces and put them together again." Following Branagh's divorce from Thompson, he would go on to have a very public romance with Carter, who did not appreciate being implicated in the split. It was frustrating and very hurtful for the actor, as only 3 people actually knew how and when everything went down. Frankly, some of the things I have been called are quite libelous, but it's part of the price of being in the public eye. When talking about her own experience, the Beauty and the Beast actor said she could see why Brannagh fell in love with Carter. "The women are very much alike." "Oh, we are. Being slightly mad and a bit fashion-challenged. Perhaps that's why Ken loved us both. She's a wonderful woman, Helena." She had since forgiven the pair for what allegedly transpired all those years ago. "Helena and I made our peace years and years ago." After the painful separation, Emma Thompson's life could have been entirely different, like being Donald Trump's first lady different. Before she married the love of her life, her husband of 26 years, and her Sense and Sensibility co-star Greg Wise, the actor got asked out on a date, but none other than the current U.S. president. If Donald Trump asked you around to Trump Towers for dinner, what would you say? Most of us would probably say no, but would you consider it even a little bit? Think of the stories, after all.
"It's Donald Trump here." And I thought someone was having a laugh. So I said, "Oh,
Fuck off."
And that's exactly what Emma Thompson has said, that years ago she was called up by Trump himself. Speaking to Stephen Colbert a few years back, the late-night actor described how Trump rang her up shortly after her divorce from actor Kenneth Brannagh.
"You could be the First Lady of the United States.
yeah,
You could be that happy, happy lady."
I could have my, yeah.
Unfortunately for him and fortunately for her, Emma said she'd get back to him, and that was it. Trump never did get that call back from the famous actor. And good for her, might we say? Emma Thompson's marriage to her husband Greg Wise is one of Hollywood's most long-lasting relationships. They met on the set of Sense and Sensibility while she was still married to actor-director Kenneth Brannagh. Soon after she announced her split from Brannagh, Thompson and Wise started dating. And they quickly realized that they were meant to be. But they almost never made it down the aisle. Before the gorgeous couple set their eyes on each other, Wise dated their other Sense and Sensibility co-star Kate Winslet. Emma Thompson almost lost her chance at true love.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove.
As it turns out, before landing his breakout role, Greg went to see a friend of his who, quote, was a bit witchy, and she said he would meet his future partner on the film, which Thompson revealed less than a year ago. He assumed it wasn't me because I was married and quite a lot older than him, so he thought it might be Kate, Emma said. Greg Wise knew he would meet his true love while filming Sense and Sensibility. He just didn't suspect it was going to be the magnificent Emma Thompson. Instead, he thought his soulmate might be another brilliant actor, Kate Winslet. So Wise went and took Winslet out on a date to the Glastonbury Music Festival. Right from the start, it was obvious she wasn't the one for him. She was so bored, and he thought, this isn't going to work. Who can it be? Thompson recounted. Then things happened that probably shouldn't have happened, and it's been 25 years in May, added Emma just a year ago. Wise also opened up about the story in 2018, revealing Winslet was the one who pointed out that he and Thompson were right for each other. Thompson and Wise ended up getting married 8 years later and have been together ever since.
Just before we shot Sense and Sensibility, this witchy mate of mine said, you're going to meet the love of your life. And lo, nearly 25 years later, still with him.
Lovely.
In 1999, the couple had a daughter, Gaia, born when Thompson was 39. The pregnancy was achieved through IVF treatment. Afterwards, Wise and Thompson attempted to have another child using the same method. Sadly, 3 years of further IVF treatment were unsuccessful. 4 years later, the family of 3 became the family of 4. Thompson and her husband informally adopted a Rwandan orphan and former child soldier named Tindi Agaba. They met at a refugee council event when he was 16, and she invited him to spend Christmas at their home. And the rest is history.
And I think that family is a protective environment that you clearly at that time needed. Well, we all need it because we all need somewhere where we feel safe.
Despite their successful marriage, the Oscar-winning actor has made it clear it's not always easy. I think people in a long, happy marriages tell a lot of fibs like, yes, it's been marvelous. Whereas I say, no, sometimes it's been awful. I hope it carries on, but we don't know. We say, well, this is nice, isn't it? We don't take anything for granted. Well, Emma Thompson is nothing short of a brilliant, creative, and wise woman. We'd all benefit from learning a thing or two from her.